In late November of 1988, Japan was preparing for winter. Streets were busy, schools were open, and life moved forward as usual. But beneath that ordinary routine, one of the most disturbing crimes in modern history was about to unfold. This is the story of Junko Furuta. Junko Furuta was 17 years old. She lived in Misato, Saitama Prefecture, and was known as a hardworking, intelligent student. She balanced school with a part-time job and had plans for her future. To those who knew her, Junko was dependable, polite, and kind, an ordinary teenager with ordinary dreams. On the evening of November 25, 1988, Junko finished her shift at work and began riding her bicycle home. It was a short, familiar route she had taken many times before. She never arrived. That night, Junko was approached by a group of teenage boys. They were close to her age, between 16 and 18 years old. The group was led by Hiroshi Miyano. What began as an encounter on a quiet street quickly turned violent. Junko was assaulted and coerced into coming with them under false pretenses. Instead of being helped, Junko was taken away from Misato and transported to Tokyo. What followed was not a brief crime, but a prolonged nightmare that would last more than 40 days. Junko was held captive inside a house in the Adaki ward of Tokyo. The home belonged to the family of one of the perpetrators. From the outside, nothing appeared unusual. Inside, Junko was trapped, isolated, and completely under the control of her captors. Early on, the boys forced Junko to call her family. She was made to say that she had run away and was staying with friends. These calls delayed any immediate rescue and gave her captors more time. Junko's parents reported her missing, but without evidence of foul play, the case did not receive urgent escalation. As days turned into weeks, Junko endured extreme physical and psychological abuse. She was repeatedly beaten, deprived of food and sleep, and subjected to constant torment. Her conditions steadily worsened. Despite being held in a residential neighborhood, no successful intervention occurred. At multiple points during her captivity, adults were present in the home. Neighbors and even police were reportedly reassured that nothing was wrong. Each missed opportunity became another moment in which Junko remained trapped. By December, Junko's injuries were severe. She was weak, malnourished, and struggling to move. Still, the abuse continued. Her suffering was prolonged not by secrecy alone, but by repeated failures of intervention. On January 4, 1989, after more than 40 days of captivity, the violence escalated once again. Junko sustained fatal injuries. She died later that day at just 17 years old. After her death, the perpetrators attempted to erase what they had done. Junko's body was placed into a large metal drum. Concrete was poured inside, sealing it shut. The drum was transported to a construction site in QT, Tokyo, and discarded. For nearly 3 months, Junko's remains were hidden. Her family still did not know what had happened to her. In March of 1989, the case finally broke open, not because of a missing persons breakthrough, but due to the arrest of one of the boys for an unrelated crime. During questioning, details emerged that led police to the construction site. On March 29, 1989, the concrete-filled drum was recovered. Forensic analysis confirmed what Junko's family feared. After months of uncertainty, the truth was finally revealed. The arrests that followed shocked Japan. All 4 perpetrators were teenagers at the time of the crime. They were prosecuted under Japan's juvenile justice system, which placed limits on sentencing regardless of severity. Hiroshi Miyano, identified as the primary offender, received the longest sentence available under juvenile law, 20 years. The others received significantly shorter sentences. None were given life imprisonment. When the sentences were announced, public outrage followed. Many questioned how a crime of such brutality could result in what were seen as comparatively light punishments. The case ignited national debate over juvenile sentencing laws, victim protection, and accountability. Junko Furuta was laid to rest in April of 1989. She was remembered by classmates, teachers, and loved ones, not for the way she died, but for the life she should have been allowed to live. In the years since, her case has remained a painful reminder of systemic failure. Failures of oversight, intervention, and justice. It has been discussed in courts, classrooms, documentaries, and books. Not because it should be sensationalized, but because it should never be forgotten. Junko Furuta was not just a victim of violence. She was a daughter, a friend, a student, a human being whose life mattered. Remembering her story is not about reliving horror. It is about acknowledging the cost of indifference and the importance of protecting the vulnerable. This is the story of Junko Furuta, and this is why her name must be remembered. Subscribe for more true crime stories.